Guys, you must have honest conversations now with yourself. You holding on to whatever you're holding on, you are missing out on experience if you let go or if you've moved on. But yeah, it does happen, you know. But sometimes you're always the villain, and it's okay, man. So change your mom. I'm just not afraid to be alone. God, but I got used to it that I am the outlier and I'm always the one that's always left behind. That's always left behind when people go out. Ish. Now, how are you expecting people to know why they did you dirty if you're not gonna tell them? Like, guys, it's not funny, Chane, but it's okay for people not to include you in my plans of it. It's okay for people not to tell you in Dabazabo. Ekse, khokho, my name is Ginger, and welcome back to Unbounded Space, a channel that's all about healing and growth. So I know I've been like MIA for a very long time, but I am back, and I'm back to stay, and I'm not going anywhere, and it just feels so good to be back. So yeah, please like, subscribe, hit the notification. Yonke lento guys, she was a YouTuber at this point. Yeah. So yeah, I am very excited, super excited in fact, to tell you guys that I am introducing a series called Relationships 101. It's gonna be like a 5-part series on my channel, and it's just gonna consist of a 5-part series that's gonna consist of 5 videos whereby we discuss everything that has to do with the relationships. But this is the first part, and on this first part I will be discussing friendships, you know, and yeah I'll be discussing friendships, and I'll be talking about everything that has to do with friendships, but I want to talk about my past experiences, especially me, or the ginger with low self-esteem in friendships, the type of person I was and I am now, what I went through as a person who has low self-esteem in a friend group, being the deaf, and I'll be talking about Yonke. So yeah, I actually think it's gonna be an amazing video, and I hope you guys learn a lot or learn something. Yeah, whatever. But without further ado, let me get straight into the video. So if you guys would remember the last video that I did, the previous video where I talk about my journey to self-acceptance and self-love, I highlighted that I have struggled for many years with low self-esteem. I was a very less confident person. I couldn't stand up for myself. I was not assertive enough, and I could not confront people. I was not vocal, and that was mainly influenced by my low self-esteem. That really affected all of my relationships in general, you know, even like formal relationships, or, you know, relationships, basic relationships. But no, now I am good. Now I have a high self-esteem. No one is gonna ever walk on me ever again. I dare you bound Sandas. You try me, you will never try anybody else, and that's a promise. But yeah, so I wanted to like get that out there before I even like go further video, you know. So I've always been that person who was constantly mocked and bullied in any relationship. I struggled the most with friendships more than romantic relationships. Now I just do my own thing. I don't mind being alone. I don't mind not having a friend. But there was a time in my life where I just wanted to be around those certain people, and I would do anything not to make those certain people not mad. You know, I want them to be happy all the time. I don't want us split with those friends, and those certain people are friends, right? So yeah, that really affected me, because I would constantly get mocked and bullied in that friend group or whatever, or within Leo friendship Leo, and I would not say anything because I don't want to lose that person. If fear of loss really set me back, you know, it really held me uba ndingaqhubekeli phambili and meet other new people, because I constantly held on to toxic friendships, toxic relationships, because I was afraid to lose people. As I've said, I have struggled with low self-esteem, so the thought of making new friends was just, you know, very scary and terrifying. But yeah, again, moving on, I want to talk about friend groups first, you know. So I've always been in friend groups. Now, not really. Yeah, but back then I used to be like in friend groups. Now I have individual friends, you know. Yeah. One thing I've noticed about friend groups, and as a person who has been in friend groups most of the time, is that you guys will start as a big, huge group, and then as time goes by, group, people find their friends. There are trios, there are duos in that group. Some leave that group to make other friends out of that group, and it's okay, man. That's how it is. And if I need 10 group, but at the end, 3. That's how it is, you know. Nothing that really taught me about nothing is permanent in this life, honey. Like, nothing. But enjoy it while it lasts, though. And one thing I really loved about being in a friend group was the vibe. The more the merrier, guys. The vibe is just out of this world. You will notice when you're with the or your best friend or whoever, you know, like, the vibe is not as vibey as compared to when you are with your friend group. Like, the vibe is just always out of this world. It's vibey. And yeah, but the bad side or the cons of being in a friend group is that there's constantly drama. You know, there's just drama. It's just drama. I don't know about boys' friend groups, but with girls, it's just constantly drama. And I, unfortunately, was always involved in drama. But yeah, it does happen, you know. But sometimes you're always the villain, and it's okay, man. So change your mom. I swear, like, in every friend group that I've been in, I was always in leyo drama. If kune drama tile, I am there. I am not the drama though. But I was always kuleyo drama. You're one of those petty snacks fights about and then you did this and then you did that. I was always, trust me, I was always there. But yeah, it does happen, you know. But sometimes you're always the villain, and it's okay, man. So change your mom. Trios. I don't know about trios, guys. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's always a duo in a trio. There's always gonna be Leo to Leo that are just best friends, and then kind of one friend gay, best friend gay, best friend. But they're just those two best friends, and then there's just the best friend. You know what I mean? If you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. If they do, maybe they do for other people and they do work out. If they do work out for you, then consider yourself lucky, because yeah, no, I've been in duos more than any other type of relationship, because as I have stated that now I have individual friends, you know. So yeah, it's more of a duo than a group, no. And one thing that I've always struggled with in a friend group was that I was always the outlier. Like, I was always the duff. Yeah, I was that. According to my understanding, the dove is the outlier of the group. There's always the outlier. In every friend group, there is always the outlier. And I was the outlier. Like, you know, with a personality as well as the physical appearance. I was the skinniest or the most skinny in every friend group that I've been in. I was the geek. I've always worn spectacles. Almost the half year I've worn spectacles like 24/7. So yeah, and the people that I was friends with, they didn't wear spectacles. So I was, you know, there's always going to be the outlier. Laws about different. It did not make me view my friends otherwise, because I've always loved my friends. And yeah, that did not affect me, Shem. I would be lying if I said that affected me. No, it didn't. But it did make me realize and become socially aware that in society we have a hierarchy, you know. We have standards, we have... You just need to be socially aware. And by being socially aware, like socially, what are you? Who are you? Are you the type that always makes friends? Are you the type that friends come to you? Are you the type that is always left out? Are you the type that... You know what I mean? Like, it just made me more socially aware. And I got used to it, that I am the outlier and I'm always the one that's always left behind. That's always left behind when people go out. I was always left behind when... the certain davers bas man and is dating smang man. I would hear after a month, bye bo. You know, like I was always left out, and hence I say that I have always been the duff in every friend group that I've been in. I don't know how to feel about that now, but at some point it did, you know, hurt my feelings about how can I be in a friend group that I'm constantly being just like I'm just that invisible friend. Guys, it's not funny, Johnny, but yeah, what can we say, man? It's not funny, but there's nothing we can do. If you're being left out, you're being left out, you know. You can't force it, and there's always gonna be that friend bad, and I was that friend. Yeah, I'm clearly, guys. God, ngiyahleka phela ngoba nakusedlulile, but bengahleki expecting, yabo, ngisagusha through it. But yeah, and I came to understand that it's okay for people not to include you. You know, you shouldn't. It's okay for people not to include you in my plans of. It's okay for people not to tell you in Dabazabo. They're not telling you because abafuna uzizwe. Yeah, and they don't go out with you because they don't want to go out with you. There's no simple explanation for that thing. And that really made me isolate myself more, because even at home I was never the type that chills my family. My family could be like chilling a lounge bonk and I would be in my room on my phone or drawing, or you know, I was always that person who isolates herself at home. But Nature Mizami just, you know, made me isolate myself more, if you get where I'm coming from. Guys, you must have honest conversations now with yourself, you know. Be honest with yourself. And being honest with myself has really helped me a lot. Especially Ebomini. Not Ebomini, Echomini. But okay, I am socially aware, and now I fully understand, and I'm just gonna, you know, step back and let people do their thing. And yeah, I did that, and that just made me more... It made me less involved with drama, and I started being in love with being less involved in activities with the friend groups that I've been in, and yeah, I started enjoying being alone, actually, you know. And yeah, guys, you don't actually need it show me as you think you do. You know, you can survive alone, and that being the outlier or the duff and being always left alone trained my mentality that I can do like anything alone. I don't need to do anything with anyone. If I want to go to a restaurant alone, I will go. If I want to go to a concert alone, I will go. You know, like I don't always need to have someone about me to get through what I'm getting through, to go through, to do whatever. And that was very important. It opened my eyes, and I have seen a lot. You know, I'm not afraid to try new things alone. I'm just not afraid to be alone. And I wish my 13-year-old self knew that it's okay not to have a friend. It's okay to be alone. Just, you don't need a friend all the time. You don't need someone all the time. But yeah, I want to talk about making friends. So I've never had a problem with making friends, actually. Like, I've never had a problem with making friends. I have came to a point where I started noticing that I am the magnet, you know. I've always been myself. Even though there was a time where I tried to fit in, but I just realized, yeah, just be yourself, you know. And I hated when people tried to change me. I just want to be myself. I don't want to be in a relationship where I am not going to be myself, because I let other people be themselves. I am not that socially active person. I'm just me. And yeah, someone would like start talking to me, and I'd start talking to that someone, and someone we would like start getting along, and someone would start, you know, and I would also start, you know, like, and then the friendship, yeah, Toma, and then everybody told me, Joalo, just like that. Yeah, but I've always been the magnet. I have never not had a friend. I've always had a friend. I'm a very vibey person. If you start talking to me, we are gonna talk non-stop. That's just how I am. That's just how I am. Like, that's just how I am. And I think it just made my life more easier that I am, you know, talkative person who likes engaging as well. On my conversations, I've always had a friend, Matt. Yeah, it wasn't a challenge for me. It wasn't. Ngabe ngiqamba amanga if ngithi mina ukwenza bangani nano. Do not force izinto. If you don't have friends, it's okay, it's fine. You will have friends, you will make friends. You will meet your friends that the universe. Do not go around about who's involved with fire, and that is dangerous. You are inviting wolves into your life by going out to while, you know, you should have waited or you should have waited to meet those people. Do not rush. Before moving on, I just want to say, yeah, man, be socially aware, you know. Just start having honest conversations that way, and be aware socially, okay? Yim Lona, and this is what I want, this is what I'm going for, these are the type of traits I have, these are my friends. Why do I like this friend? I like this friend because she is there for me financially. I like this friend because she gives me support. I like this friend because like, you know, just be honest. I like this friend because are close to Christ. I like this friend because, you know, like, I don't like this friend because I don't like have lesos and tolezo, and be honest with your friends. Be honest with your friends, because honesty is very important in any type of relationship, I tell you. Yeah, like, it's very important. Foundation. And by being honest, it's going to be easier for you to be and communicate. Communication does not only apply to romantic relationships, but to friendships as well. Be assertive, and by communication, be able to confront people, you know. Because now, how are you expecting people to know why they did you dirty if you're not going to tell them? Like, just tell them. Be honest and tell them. Because sometimes you're like, uyenza into or uyichi into, not even being aware of the damage that you are causing to this person. So, yeah, now I have train yourself, or I don't know, being a high emotional intelligence. Or it's when people confront you, you don't take things snacks, you know, like you review and I show about, okay, if I did you like this, I'm sorry. And if this is not what you like, then I'm not going to do it again. And have boundaries. Have boundaries. You know? And one thing I have noticed about Minibang that really changed how I view things now as this khokho that I am, is that outgrowing is normal, right? Like, you know, this really hurts me because I used to be very afraid of outgrowing people, you know, or I used to feel bad for outgrowing Jason, especially people or friends. As I've said, that I was that person who just wanted to be with, you know, Ichomi. I always wanted to have Ichomi. I did not want to make Ichomi mad. I just didn't want to lose Ichomi. But yeah, and there was a time where, you know, I outgrew certain people, but I just held on to a friendship, you know, a friendship that's just not going anywhere because you are afraid of losing that person, or you are just afraid of hurting that person's feelings. Guys, people have to understand, but it's okay, it's normal to outgrow. And just because Mnanawe we no longer, you know, we are, doesn't mean there's bad blood. There's no bad blood. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to outgrow beliefs. The things that I used to believe in, the 16-year-old Ginger used to believe in. For instance, soul ties. Come on now. I just don't believe in soul ties. I used to believe in soul ties, but I no longer believe in Leo. I don't want to swear, but it's just bull. All these 90 days are just sexist, you know. They are just made, or they were created to stop women from doing whatever they want to do with their vaginas, and let men be hoes, or let men do whatever they want to do with their genitalias. So I don't believe in Ozozendoyas. Yeah. And it's okay to outgrow my beliefs. That's my point, that it's okay. No one should force you. It should make you feel bad for outgrowing. It's part of growth. We outgrow, we grow. You can't grow like outgrow certain things or certain people or certain habits. You have to outgrow lezo zinto lezo in order for you to bloom like a flower. You know, like, talking about this now just made me realize, I have come a long way. I used to have serious attachment problems or attachment issues, whatever you guys call it. But now I am just more chilled, more relaxed. Like, whatever happens, you know, and it's all I want. But anyways, but last but not least, I would actually like to highlight or talk about acceptance, you know. One thing we should teach ourselves is acceptance. Acceptance is very important. Acceptance will make things, or learning how to accept, or mastering the acceptance skill, will teach you as an individual how to move on fast and accepting things the way they are. It will make your life easier. Like, learning how to accept, okay, nasi simo sibheke phambi kwakho. What do you do with the simo? You know, but okay, 1, 2, 3, you can't do this, you can't do that. Go with what you can, accept the situation and go with what you can do, and voila, things are easier. Yeah, accepting that you and your childhood friend are just no longer that close, even though when you still want to be, you know, and it's okay, that's how it is. Just accept and move on. Because when I also accept, and that, my friend, is very dangerous. That is very dangerous. Holding on is very dangerous. That's why I always stress this topic of accepting. Acceptance is very important. Like, you are going to miss out on a lot. You're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. You're going to miss out on a lot of good times. You're going to miss out on a lot of, you know, it was in general, because when ubhiza ubambelele uyakile itoxicity, uyakile awufuni ukuyeka, yekele, you know, just yeka and learn to accept things how they are. Stop forcing. It's okay if that friendship or whatever does not work out, and then now you're born get forced no manje. So no, let's just learn how to accept, move on. And yeah, I have held on to meaningless relationships, meaningless friendships in the name of we've known each other for longer and we've been friends for a very long time. We've shared many great memories. We've, you know, like, now this is no longer serving you. This friendship, that's the word I want to use. This friendship is just a friendship because now, but when I'm busy, bambelele, uyakile, toxicity, you know. Like, I have stayed in friendships where I was constantly bullied. I was constantly mocked by those people. And people would say mean things through jokes. And listen, before I move on, if your friend says mean things through my jokes or in the name of jokes, they mean it. They really mean it. And, you know, learn to listen. Not because ulalele, but listen to analyze. But I have stayed in those friendships because I didn't want to accept the situation with these people are bullying you, these people are mocking you. And, you know, I have stayed in a very toxic, like, I remember this one time a friend said to me, ndine anorexia. Ngiwonde ingathi ngine anorexia. Mina guys, like, I was like, you know, and I didn't understand why you would say that as my friend, as ichomyam. But I held on to those friendships because I didn't want to accept those friendships for who they were, or for who they were on Dondoni, or for how they were, or for how they were. I was just, you know, always. But yeah, we learn, we grow, we outgrow. As I've said before, we learn a lot, actually. But yeah, man, if I have accepted the situation and I've learned to move on, and lastly, I'll tell you guys the lessons I've learned. Friendships, just friendships in general. Number 1, very important, Galen, know your worth. Knowing your worth does not only apply in relationships, but in friendships as well. People cannot view you as ikaka and treat you as ikaka, and when you would constantly be ichomiabo and constantly forgive them and constantly go back to them. No. There has to come a time where you just stand up for yourself and say, you know what, I can't tolerate this anymore. Or else batho batla go ketsa met ya bona ba will kill on you. Guys, I'm trying Sesotho, but yeah. And number 2, your friends will come to you, or you will meet your friends. Either way, but do not go out there or hambuyenza ama friendships or often ama friendships. It's very dangerous, man. Especially this you have to be here. Have to. Do not be desperate. Because once you are desperate, uzotolerate yonke lento le, and uzosibizela yonke lento le, uzosibizela ama fake friends. And eksasa masokhala ngama fake friends, ungasikhaleli please. Masa wagela ama fake friends, ungasikhaleli ngoba abizwe uwe. Uzizingele wena wawahunter ama fake friends, wahunter ama wolves into your life just because wena you didn't want to wait for that time of ukwenza ichomi, or to meet your friends, or for your friends to meet you, or your friends to find you. But your friends will find you. And there is what we call soulmates in friendships. Number 3, boundaries. Boundaries are very important, Kesan. Boundaries are very important. Even if you don't state your boundaries now, but if something happens and you don't like it, tell that person, do not do this ever again. Politely, foot. Number 4, have friends that are older than you, or have Leo 1 or 2 people who are like older than you, people who ongahlala nabo pants batshele something and then bagbonisa, and bagbonisa nawe banguthi azende yiyo shit. You need abantu abanjalo, and that's why I always stress the fact that, you know, at least have a friend or someone who's a bit older than you, someone ohluzile, someone who knows how to use this. Umuntu ozohlala naye phansi umtshele something and then akubonise, and akubonise ngendlela ofuna ukuboniswa or ngendlela ozoyibona ngayo leyo nto. Like, it's very important, you know, because yena sekabonile izinto empilweni. Every now and then, it could be your sister or it could be anyone. Do not always be surrounded by people about age group yakho, people who, you know, but yeah, and people who are doing well than you. It's gonna help you, Futi. It's gonna push you to be a better version of yourself, because it's very important to be a better version of yourself. But the most important one I've learned is that no one actually owes you anything, including friends, you know. They don't owe you anything. Abantu banenkinga zabo. If people decide not to show up for you, it's fine, it's okay. Like, they don't owe you anything. Akomto zobendo ebizoyana nawe all the time. No one owes you anything. I know it's very harsh, it's very sad, but no one owes you anything.